From beating up his own boss to chucking Brian and Stewie through a window. It's no secret that Peter G ain't the best father in the world. Despite being a family guy, Peter's childish ways stay getting him in trouble with all his friends and closest relatives. But what happens when his love for destruction becomes too much to swallow?
Pause. God damn.
Peter's caused a whole lot of destruction all throughout Quahog and other places across the seasons of the show. He's really fucked some shit up over the years, and we're going to explore a few instances. We'll be starting with some low-grade acts of destruction on both people and property. Stick around to the end to see some of Peter's most disastrous moments. Starting with number 10, the Petercopter and the Hindenpeter. Starting off with some casual destruction of local neighborhood property in the episode The Cleveland Loretta Quagmire. Peter always has some slick-ass ways of getting away. First dipping off to the Petercopter, which is of course a giant helicopter with Peter's face on it. Soon as that thing takes off, he flies it right next door to Joe's and chops Suey's the fuck out of his front yard. Later on in the episode, Peter tries to slip away again using the Hindenpeter, which is a giant blimp with his face on it, only for that thing to also crash into Joe Swanson's house. While we don't see it actually happen, we all know Joe's house is toast. Again. The Petercopter would make a few more gag appearances as the Cleveland Copter and the Meg Copter. Every single one ended in disaster, naturally. Makes you wonder why anyone but Quagmire be trying to fly these things. At least he's a for real pilot. Number 9, Peter gets a tank. Peter's a damn fool when he only has access to conventional means that every father with his resources should have, which raises all kind of red flags when he gets access to military equipment. In the episode Hell Comes to Quahog, while browsing for a used car for Meg, Peter gets swindled into buying a tank and runs amok through Quahog, causing absolute mayhem. He's blowing up houses and property with it, runs over Joe, and is basically joyriding an armed and operational war machine for the hell of it. At least until Joe has enough and impounds it. The tank does make a reappearance though later in the episode when it helps stop an evil megastore from wrecking the city, which leads to one of the best lines in Family Guy history. Any problem caused by a tank can be solved by a tank. Moving on to number 8. Peter beats up his family and destroys his house. Peter G is no stranger to violence, but when a shitstorm of violence infects the entire house, things start to go wild. Red flags are raised in the episode Lethal Weapons when Lois, sick of Peter undermining her and not listening to her, learns martial arts to cope with her anger. She happened to be a bright student and a quick learner. As she takes out her anger on the New Yorkers currently invading Quahog to watch the leaves change, Peter takes her to the Drunken Clam and starts picking fights with the locals. She's whooping everyone's ass 6 ways from Saturday. But the power eventually goes to Lois's head, and she starts tripping on the rest of the family. After punching Peter dead in the grill, Peter serves Lois a hard iron mic left, resulting in an all-out brawl between the family. This fight completely desecrated their living room and left the family with black eyes, bruises, and busted lips. While Lois might have dished out the first punch, it was Peter's jackassness that caused the entire fight in the first place and left them with a shit ton to clean up. Number 7. Peter gets a forklift. Most of the time when you want to use a forklift, you need training and a proper license. Common sense helps too. Peter G, however, simply gets on by having a license, minus the common sense. Peter not only takes a work forklift out on the town to save a beach whale, but also uses it to attempt to chug an entire vat of beer to himself. Of course, the massive amount of beer fucks him up and sends him crashing into a meeting of executives where he gets fired. Dumbass. While not the most destructive Peter has been, anytime he gets his hands on a new vehicle, you can expect destruction to follow. And several rooms of the brewery likely had to be completely rebuilt after that disaster. Which leads us to number 6. Peter attacks the Amish. Only Peter can start some beef with people as peaceable as the Amish. It all starts when Peter sees that they tagged his house, raked his leaves, and mowed his lawn to rob him of the joy of doing chores.
You bastard!
After the Griffin's car breaks down, they stay with an Amish community and Meg finds love. However, Peter's antics quickly cause a feud to develop between the Griffins and the Amish, and Peter gears up for war. What's hilarious about this fight is that as fast as Peter shoots their Lincoln log barn to smithereens, it's just as quickly rebuilt by the Amish multiple times. And again. But if that wasn't the case, bringing military firearms and grenades to attack peace-loving farmers would definitely cause some destruction. 1000%. Number 5. Peter floods the entire house. When it comes to dumbassness, Peter definitely takes the cake. After Chris drops a massive dump and floods the toilet, Peter busts in with a pitching machine and commences to shooting baseballs at the problem like a genius. After stuffing it down the hole and letting loose, the house starts crumbling till the entire house overflows to the point of bursting. Fluid flies out of every orifice. Window.
And I'm waking up outside again. Gotta sleep to grow, guys. Gotta sleep to grow.
Now we're getting away from the minor acts of destruction and violence to the truly diabolical things that Peter Griffin has done throughout his life. Smash that subscribe button to see more chaos, cause we ain't letting up no time soon. Number 4. Peter beats up Kyle and gets beat up by Liam Neeson. Peter has caused plenty acts of mayhem across the show's run, but this time his actions had consequences. And even more shocking, Peter was aware of them soon as he let loose and flew off the handle. When Kyle, a local paperboy, starts bullying Chris, Peter goes to talk to him and get him to stop. However, when Kyle tries to start bullying Peter, our favorite Family Guy snaps and beats the tar out of the local bully, then tries to escape and goes back home like nothing happened. After getting bitch slapped by Liam, Peter attempts a few punches that never land while getting tossed around like a rag doll, absolutely destroying Liam's trailer. After Peter serves up one good elbow to the chin, making Liam barely bleed, he stuffs his fat ass through the roof and starts pulverizing his tender parts. After disrespectfully breaking both of his wrists, he knees him through the mirror, finishing him off once and for all, making Peter his little bitch. Number 3. The chicken fights. Of course, when it comes to Peter's marches of destruction across Quahog, none can top his bouts with Ernie the Giant Chicken. We had to put them all in one section or this entire video would be nothing but over-the-top brawls between these two. In the episode The Boom, their feud starts after Ernie accidentally gives Peter an expired coupon, which Peter reacts to, differently than most would. While their first fight seems pretty standard destruction, the two would continue to meet and brawl across multiple episodes, as well as across various locations in the series and time itself. From battling across the time stream, to slugging it out in the sewers, to cloning themselves in a scientist lab, they've caused a shit ton of damage and explosions with every single brawl they've had. Just to share how much their mutual destruction in their fights has cost, Peter even helps Ernie back to life out of emotional need for him. And also for other reasons. Just to kick his ass. Again. Number 2. Peter wrecks the state capitol. When Peter gets invited to Washington to become Donald Trump's press secretary, things go in the typical Family Guy style. However, when Peter loses his temper after the president's actions push one button too many, the pair have a massive fight that goes all over Washington, D.C., including the Smithsonian and the Washington Monument. Perhaps what makes this fight the most destructive is the fact that several nukes are launched during the fight, and while we don't see where they land, we can assume they went off and caused a lot of catastrophic damage. President Trump might not be the memorable opponent that Ernie the Giant Chicken is, but it was still an interesting fight that heavily damaged DC. And that leads us to number 1, Peter destroys Springfield. Thankfully, Peter's most destructive antics don't take place in Quahog, but rather in Springfield. After the Griffins have to flee Quahog and lay low for a while, they run into Springfield and the Simpsons. Homer and Peter get along like chocolate and peanut butter until they run into an issue involving their favorite beers. Namely, Pawtucket Patriot Ale is an imitation of Duff beer. This leads to a brawl between Peter and Homer throughout the streets of Springfield. While that is destructive enough, the two wind up fighting through the nuclear power plant. After they fall into some nuclear waste, they both gain superpowers and the damage really starts to tick up. Eventually, the two kick each other's asses all the way to outer space before losing their powers and ending the fight in a draw. This is easily the most destructive Peter has been, and it wasn't even to his hometown. Even the nuclear fallout alone is going to be a massive mess for Springfield to clean up. We've just broken down some of Peter's most destructive moments, but let us know which ones you like the most or any that we missed in the comments below. And be sure to like and subscribe.